Hi everyone. So I've done a lot of videos in the last 2 weeks. It's been so much revelation, so much full circle. And today, I didn't even realize the date, 321, 3, 2, 1. This is the last month. Because he was showing me 1, 2, 3. Now he's showing me the reversal ends today. From today forward, I will be moving forward. And the reason is that 7 years ago, today, I moved out of my apartment. I moved out of my home. My 4-bedroom, 3,300 square foot home. And I moved into an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment with a washer and a dryer in unit on the 2nd floor. And I moved in on a Friday. It was actually Friday the 24th of March, the day before my daughter's birthday. And so it's all full circle for me. It is 7 years to do the week that I moved out of my home. I went to go pay my rent for 2 weeks. And the owner says, you're paying for a week? And I'm like, what, you don't want me here for you don't want me to pay for 2 weeks? You want me to pay for 1 week? You don't want me here anymore? And he goes, no, it's always 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking. And I've noticed the last time and this time that I've gone to go pay for 2 weeks, he keeps wanting to charge me $700. He threw away the paperwork the first time around because I don't know, he was cleaning and he lost the paper. He just threw everything away, threw everything in the trash. He thought my paperwork was in the stuff he threw away because he was cleaning. And God is about to do it again. He's about to change everything again. Because he tells me, don't say a word. Don't say a word. And I'm like, okay. He looks up my paperwork and he finds it, but it's never in the same place. God had told me pay for 1 week, and I was like, but it's 2 weeks. And then, yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen next. All I do know that there is a commotion going on outside. There's a fight going on for who's going to get to be the head honcho of the place. Who's going to be able to manipulate the owner. She's not home. She took off because I was playing my gospel music too loud for her. And she can't go complain about me because I actually told the owner today, I said, I fight her yelling and screaming by turning on gospel music. I say I play it at night so I can sleep. And that seems to keep her quiet. And he goes, turn it up. I was like, are you sure? He goes, yeah, turn it up. Maybe that'll scare her demons away. And I said, okay, I'll turn it up. So when I came inside, I put on my gospel music and I turned it up. And she had to leave. I've noticed that they're now trying to get in my good graces. Because I'm the only one of all the residents that live here that doesn't get into anybody's business. Nobody knows what's going on with me. They don't see me for weeks, for days at a time, because I'm always working. He sees me when God allows him to see me. There was one time where he didn't see me for 2 weeks until suddenly I appeared and he goes, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, no, I've been working. I don't have time for a boyfriend. And he goes, oh, I thought you had a boyfriend because I don't see you anymore. Because you're sleeping. Because God doesn't want you seeing me. And yes, I do have a glass of wine, in case you were asking. And God had me buy this hat today. It says wildflower on it. And he showed me a new dawn again. And then I've been seeing words about a new dawn, a new season, a new life, I've gotten 2 confirmations now about a brand new car and he's allowing me to talk about this. Because as a prophet, you can't keep these words to yourself. If you don't have faith in what God is doing, you don't have faith in what he's telling you, he's going to give you, he'll tell you when to stop talking. He'll tell you, shh, not now. He'll take the words from your mouth. You'll go to say something and then he'll take the words out of your head. He won't let you say anything. Today he sent me out shopping. He told me, buy things that you need for the place that you're in. Because I've been complaining. I can't open the windows very much. He wants me to open the curtain completely because he wants to be in the video. He's like, I'm done being a sliver. That's him right there. There is no light. I can see straight outside. Like, I don't see what I see in the videos when I play them back. And he wants the entire window open. And he allowed me to buy sheer curtains so that nobody will see inside. Because I'm a private person. I don't like people looking inside my home. And for now, this is my home. And now he's having me clean it. Now he goes, it's time to clean. It's time to prepare. It's time to be ready to go. If I don't clean this place up in time, I'm going to be rushing and struggling to get everything done before I leave. Instead, he wants me to take my time. He wants me to slow down. He wants me to rest. Because I've been going so far, so long, that it's time for me to rest. It's time for me to kick up my feet and rest and relax. And so he had me pay rent, and then off I went to go to the grocery store, Walmart. And he had me take my card. And I already had a laundry list of things that he was going to have me buy. But he had other plans. Because I was going to buy another bag of dog food, and he goes, no, I want you to buy that on Sunday. I'm like, okay. And then he goes, okay, I want you to go down this aisle, which is the camping aisle. So my blue chair, the armrest, it finally tore through. So I'm constantly having to hold it and fidget with it. And he goes, no, I want you to buy a new chair. But I wasn't willing to spend $30 on a chair. I'm like, Father, come on, that's $30. I'll spend $8. I'll spend $9 on a chair. It's a camping chair. It's chairs that, I can fold and put away and get them out of the way if I need the whole space. I'm a frugal person. There are things I need, and I'd rather go without them for a little while until I have the money to buy them. And he's not letting me. He's like, no, act as if. And I'm like, I understand you want me to act as if I already have the wealth that you promised me. And I said, but I also want to be cognizant of how to use that money. He told me, don't go be in a hurry to go and buy everything. Okay. And then he goes, come on, let's go. Got shopping to do. So I'm on my way to the bus. And I'm smiling because I'm thinking about all the things that God has been telling me I'm going to be buying and I'm going to be getting. And I'm like, okay. And because I'm smiling and because I'm so bright, this gentleman who is working outside turns around and sees me and says, well, hi there, how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing great, how are you? And he's like, I'm doing fine now. And I was like, okay, well, have a wonderful day. And he goes, do you need help with that? I'm like, no, I've got it. Thank you, though. And I kept walking. I did not slow down at all because God said, keep walking, keep walking. And I did. I kept walking. I get to the light. I push the button. I wait for the bus. And guess what? Not 5 minutes later, there's the bus. I get on, and I ask the man if I could buy the day pass. And he says no. And he waves me on by. I go and I sit down, and I'm waiting for my stop to come up. And when I get down and I get off the bus, God says, don't forget to go eat breakfast after you're done shopping. And I said, okay, because I haven't eaten anything at that point. So I went to the store and I got a cart. And then he says, go to the camping aisle, buy this chair. And I'm like, okay, but I only spent $9 on the chair because I didn't want to spend a lot. And then he says, don't you need liquid or fluid for the camping stove? And I'm like, well, I have two. I have three, but I'm using one, so technically I have two full ones. And he goes, buy two more just in case. I'm like, okay. So I bought two more. And then he takes me down the aisle where they have the frying pans and the cooking utensils. And then he goes, you've always wanted a cast iron pan, and I got you one for $10. It was bigger than this. And he goes, but this will do for now. And I'm like, you want me to get a cast iron skillet? And he's like, yeah, get a cast iron skillet. So I put it in the cart. And then I kept walking. And then, then I go down the cleaning aisle because he's been putting on me that he wants me to clean this place. And the refrigerator has an issue where it's leaking water consistently. And because my dog is scratching, he's taking off skin and hair, and it's kind of a bit of a muddy mess over there in the kitchen. But it used to be a mess in here. And now it's a mess over there. It's not a mess in here. And now he's telling me, okay, it's time to clean. It's time to clean. I'm like, okay. And he's telling me, okay, now go down this aisle and go down that aisle. And then so I ended up getting when I was still down the same aisle as the camping stoves and the camping stuff, he goes, isn't that a coffee pot? And I'm like, yeah, it's the old school coffee pots. You have to put the coffee grounds on top, and then you put the water on the bottom, and then as the water boils, it seeps into the coffee, and it makes coffee. And he goes, it's only $17. Why don't you buy that one? He goes, and then you don't have to use the electricity with a coffee pot that gets plugged in. Okay. So I bought a coffee pot that goes on the stove. And he goes, you have the instant coffee. You can use the instant coffee on the days you work. On the days you don't work, you can fill the coffee pot and you can have yourself some coffee. I go, thank you, Father. And then he takes me down the cleaning aisle, and he starts telling me, buy this broom, buy that, and this and that. And I didn't like the broom. I didn't like the broom. But I also think it's the amount of compacted skin. I know it sounds gross, but the amount of compacted dirt that's in the kitchen, I'm going to have to scrub it a couple of times in order for it to come all the way up. And I need a wider bucket. So so tomorrow, on my way to work, I'm going to stop at the 99-cent store next to work, and I'm going to buy a bucket that's a little wider. And I'll look to see if they have a push brush that's a little bit bigger than the one I bought from, because literally it's attached to a mop head, and I didn't like it. I didn't want it, but God said to buy it so I could see if it would work. He already knew it wasn't going to work, but he wanted me to be obedient. And I was like, okay. And then he had me buy cottage cheese, and he had me buy bacon that's already pre-made, so all I have to do is put it in the oven or in the microwave to heat up, because he wants me to start having breakfast every day before I go to work. He even had me buy these like Jimmy John's breakfast bowls. And so every morning now I'm going to put them in the oven, into the microwave, heat it up, and then I'm going to eat before I go to work. Because he doesn't want me to stop eating anymore. He says, you're not eating. Today, all I've eaten is the little bit of eggs, hash browns, and the 4 pieces of toast. And half a cup of Coke is all I've had for food today. I'm not hungry. It's like I'm like, Father, you feed me. You're pushing your words into me, and I'm just like, I'm full. And so he has me spill my words out, and I'm still full. I'm over full. Catch it. Catch what I'm saying. I'm overflowing. I'm overflowing. So I get on the bus, I get off the bus, I go to Walmart, and I'm, doing my shopping, and then God starts putting, you need this, and you need this, and you need this, and then he knows I don't like shopping for meat at Walmart. But he goes, you're not gonna get the chance to go to Safeway to buy meat there. And he goes, I want you to buy it here now, and there's 2 packages that are there for you. So God had me move a steak package up, and I was about to grab the one below it, but as I was moving the one above it, the woman next to me went to try and grab my pack of meat, and I just looked at her, and I was like, God, if you want her to have it, she can have it. And she goes, oh, you should grab, do you want to look at it? And I was like, yes. No, I wanted to take it with me. I knew, because I saw the price, and the amount of meat for the price is comparable. It's not too little, and it's not too much. And so I go to the next thing that God had put on my heart to go buy, and then he had me buy wine, and then he had me buy a case of the Red Bulls that I've been drinking, because he wants me to have one on the way to work tomorrow, so that I don't know. Because sometimes in the morning I don't drink. I can only drink 1 cup of coffee, and it's not enough to wake me up. And there are times where I'm on the bus and I'm like, and he doesn't want me asleep anymore. He doesn't want me tired. So he's having me drink the Red Bulls to give me the coffee shock that I need, and so that I can continue on my day. This is the way God is leading me. Because at one point I thought, oh, okay, maybe the reason God took coffee away from me is because I idolized it. I don't idolize it. I can go without it. I can go without a lot of things. I can go without water. He makes me buy water now, because he's like, you haven't had water in 3 days. Oh, okay. I gotta buy water. And then every morning he tells me, drink some water. You haven't had water all day. Or he'll remind me, you haven't eaten today. Eat something. Okay. Because I am so enthralled about the things that I'm doing for him that I'm not even worried about myself. I'm not taking care of myself, and that is something he's addressing now, because I need to take care of myself. I need to ensure that I'm healthy enough to be able to do the work that he has for me, the work that he has assigned me to. And so I'm done with my shopping, and then I get to the register, and I start talking to the lady at the register, and she, because no one since I started taking my cart with me has asked me about my cart, except for this woman. She goes, what about the cart? And I said, oh, that's mine. I bought it a while back, and I bring it so that I can use it to load and take my groceries back home. And she goes, I recognized it because I have one like it. And then I look up, and her name is Diane. And I'm like, that's funny. My name is Diana. And we started talking about the current situation, the current way that people are living, the fact that kids are killing their parents, the fact that children are doing things and they're destroying their families. Remember what I said last month? That Lucifer was putting out movies to tap into the kids' minds. And then the gentleman behind me starts chiming in. And so the three of us are having a conversation while she's doing my groceries. Of course, I had asked Father not to let the grocery bill be more than $200, and it ended up being $328. And I was like, and he goes, don't worry, it will come back. And I'm like, okay, you always find a way to give me the money back. I'm not going to worry about it because I need to pay the rent for the week that so my paycheck is the week after the rent is due for this place. So I need to be able to pay for at least 1 week's worth. But God's already leading me to talk to him and say this and that, and then, he's going to be okay holding off until I get paid. And I have to be obedient. I have to do the things that God says because the blessings that he's giving me are on the other side of my obedience. It's not just one blessing. It's not just two blessings. It's an overflow of blessings. And if I'm not consistently obedient, I will miss out on some of those blessings. And guess what? I have spent my entire life missing out on my blessings. I am not going to miss any more. I am not going to miss any more blessings that God is giving me, whether it's because of someone else that I missed out on them, but definitely not because of me, not because of my disobedience. That's why whatever God asks me to do, I do, even if it makes me look like a fool, even if it makes the pants I'm wearing are torn and there's holes on the inside of my thighs. I didn't see it until I look in the mirror, in the glass reflection of a window of a store. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Father, you had me wear I look like a freaking bum. And he goes, that's okay. Let people look at you and make judgment on you. Yes, Father. And then I get to and he had already told me that he was going to let me buy a hat. Bought a hat. And I'm like, okay. And then he goes, didn't I say you could get a hat? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get a hat. And then he led me to go buy a new pair of pants for work. And he said, don't buy the cloth ones. Remember, the pockets ripped. I'm like, oh yeah, they did. So I bought the other ones, the ones that are, they're like, I don't know the material, polyester maybe? I don't know. It's not, it's a thicker material and they have pockets because I don't want to wear the pants without the pockets. Because again, I don't want to lose my phone. I don't want to lose my money. I want to be able to feel my legs and feel my pockets full of my things. And so what did he do? He had me wear a tank top. He knows I don't like wearing a tank top in this area because of the men and the people that are around here. So he goes to wear a sweater. I found my purple sweater, which isn't a zip-up and doesn't have pockets. He had me wear the one I bought at Walmart that has the sun and the moon on it. And that one has pockets. And I was like, thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you. Because now I could put my phone in my pocket for a short while until I get to a spot where I can put it in my purse so that I won't forget again. Like I did that day and I had to go all the way back to Lenny's Burger Shop to get my phone. So today he had me go to IHOP, or not IHOP, Waffle House. I've been going there the last 3 times. This is my 3rd time there. The first time I went there not really wanting to, but I was like, okay, fine. And then the second time I went there with a little bit bigger smile. No, this is my 4th time. And this is the time I was supposed to be there because there was a young lady God wanted me to speak to. And at first she was kind of not really excited about serving me because she noticed that I looked homeless. I'm not homeless, but she realized that I didn't have money. And people who don't have money don't typically tip. And so she served me, and she served me well. She took care of me. The table was dirty where I was sitting, and she goes, you know what, let me clean that for you. I didn't have to ask. She cleaned it. And then she sat down, and then She asked me what I wanted to drink, and I told her a Coke. And then she goes, "Was that a Coke, ma'am?" And I said, "Yes, please." And then she came and she gave me my Coke, and I said, "Actually, I already know what I want." And I went to point to the picture. I'm like, "Oh no, not lunch, breakfast." And I pointed to the breakfast, and I said, and she asked me, "How do you want your eggs cooked? Scrambled?" And she goes, "Okay. And would you like hash browns?" I said, "Yes." "And what kind of bread?" I said, "White." And then I said, "Can you lightly cook the bacon?" She goes, "That's fine." It was definitely not the way they cooked it last time, but it was still good. It was a little bit more floppy, literally floppy, like it could walk off my plate. But I'm okay with that because I don't need it to be hard. I just need it to not be raw. And so I was sitting there like a little kid eating my food, and then I realized I hadn't touched my bacon. Now I ate my bacon, and then she brought me my my bill. That breakfast is $14.95. She charged me $11.25. So I gave her $20.25. And she comes over and she grabs the money, and I say, "Keep the change." And she goes, "Oh, thank you." But she hadn't looked what she wrote on the paper. When she saw what she wrote, she put it in for the cost that she wrote on the paper, and she kept the change. And she said, "Thank you." And then as I was getting up, and then she saw my cart, and she goes, "You know, I was thinking of getting one of those, and maybe with an umbrella, because I'm about to get my daughter back." And I said, "Oh, so I said I actually wanted to have one with my nephews and nieces, and they actually have different ones at Walmart." I said, "There's ones that have a canopy." And she goes, "They do?" I said, "Yeah, they have a canopy so that the sun stays out of the face." And I said, I was thinking that you could, go to the pillow section and get a pillow that you could put on the bottom so that it's nice and soft. And that gave her ideas. And she goes, "And how much do you think something like that is?" I said, "Honestly, this one was $50. The other ones that I was looking at, they're at $80. And she's like, "Okay." But God was using me to give her ideas on what she could do because she doesn't have a car. And so I resonated with her. Yeah, when I lost my car, I went and I bought this for myself for Christmas. I said, because I needed a way to be able to bring my groceries home because I lost my car. And she goes, "That is amazing." I said, "And it's versatile. It can hold up to 150 pounds. She's like, "Oh, wow." And then I mentioned that I'm a server too. Because she said, "Thank you for the tip." And I said, "You're welcome." I said, "I'm a server too, so I know how it feels when you get tips." And she goes, "You are?" I said, "Yep." She goes, "Where are you a server at?" "Barrows." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, they have some yummy pizza." I said, "I know. I'm glad I get to take it home for free." And so she got to hear from God. I don't always tell people that it's coming from God because I don't need to. Because they're having their conversation with God. And God is speaking through me. He's confirming His words to these people through me. I don't have to tell them I'm here because God sent me. Because that is then taking ownership of what God is doing in my life, and I'm not. I don't need people. I'm an obscure face that they don't need to see to be able to hear God's words. He is the shining light. I'm in the shadows. I don't say, "Oh, God sent me," like some badge of honor. I don't need to. Because God has already had a conversation with that individual. Now, sometimes They do ask God, did you send her? And then God tells me, say that I sent you. And I will. I open my mouth and now it comes. And until that moment, I didn't realize that he was going to have me speak to this young lady about my cart. Because my cart is a topic of conversation every time I get on the bus. You know? Because when people see you walking like them, living like them, they understand, they connect with the hardship. They connect with what it feels like to have to use something like a cart to carry your groceries. And as I'm walking around with my cart full of groceries, full of this and that, and I'm smiling from ear to ear, just like this, people stop and look at me like, why are you so happy? Why aren't you so happy? You should be. If you have God in your life, there's no reason for you not to be happy. There's no reason for you not to accept the bounty of God. And then I get on the bus, and the bus driver is driving like a maniac, trying to get to the next bus stop and to the next bus stop. In fact, the lady that was getting off before me, she almost went into the door. And I'm like, I guess he was trying to get you off the bus fast. And she goes, I guess so. And she got off the bus. And then I got off the bus. And I had to basically pull my cart over the curb because he parked so far away. And then I came home. And I walked into my place. And I realized I'm safe. I can walk into the world knowing that God has my back, knowing that God is protecting me, that he will not allow anything to happen to me. He will make sure that the enemy gives me a wide berth. So much has changed. You know, I had started, so then today I'm going and I get home, I unload my groceries, and I get my laundry ready to go, and I ended up having to take out all the trash that I've had for the last 9 days because I haven't had time. I'm too tired at night to walk to the trash